Hi, friends. How are you? Happy Thursday. I hope that everyone is well. I am going to pin my Facebook group here so that if anyone would like to join, please feel free. My name is Nakia. I am I'm your wildflower coach. And I am talking over the next several weeks about my Rooted in Six coaching program. It is an 8-week program where we talk about the 6 areas of your life that need to be in harmony for you to have a harmonious life. So for me, the 6 pillars are definitely an alliteration of my name. My coaching program is based on this, but also if we created a different alliteration for you, the principles, the values, and the tactics will, they'll all be the same for your alliteration. So the 6 areas that we have found that are important to have a harmonious life are faith, family, finances, your future, fitness, and friendship. And usually I put them in a different order. I usually go with family, finances, fitness, your future, and friendship. And these are areas of your life that really need to be touched upon and nurtured in order for you to feel whole and for you to feel like you're probably living the life that is best for you. Um, in our Rooted in Six program, it is definitely personal. And it is a program that is based on what is important to you, your specific core values, what matters to you, and what lights you up and brings you joy. And it is a blueprint so that you can have a more harmonious life, but it isn't rigid in the sense that it needs to look like my life looks or like your neighbor's life looks. Hi, Justina. Thank you for being here. Um, so this week we are talking about family, and I have my laptop here so that I can watch my notes. I can run on in my speech, and so that I can stay on topic and make sure that I hit my important points. I will be checking my notes here and there, but I also posted a link to my Facebook group. And if you feel like you want some support, you know some women who would like some support, or to help to grow this community and have a wonderful supportive community, the link is there, and I would welcome you to join us. So this week we're going to talk about family. And family really is all encompassing. So last week we talked about faith, and faith again is very personal, it's very specific, and it's different for everyone. The same with family. Family is your definition of the people that you show up for and that show up for you. You may have a traditional family where everybody is blood related and it's a very traditional life. You may have a family who is blended. You may have a family where nobody is related by blood. It really is about love, respect, and honor. So your family is, again, the people that mean the most to you, that you want to show up regularly for, and that show up regularly for you. And in this situation, I like to say, again, it's by your design, and you decide how you want to show up for them. In each pillar, we have one main goal, and your main goal happens to be based on your core values. Also, you are going to set up, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. You are going to set up 3 attainable goals every month in order to be able to work towards that one main goal and to be able to add it to your life so that you feel very well rounded and harmonious. So, a lot of times with families, you have your family, you have your children, you have your spouse, what you have your partner, whatever that may look like, and you just don't know where you want your family to go. You don't know what that's supposed to look like. Um, I encourage you to get a mission statement for your family. Do you have a mission statement? If there's anyone who's watching this, if you have a mission statement, I would love to hear a little bit more about your mission statement. I would love to hear about your set of core values that you've decided for your family, what that looks like, and how you execute it. So for us, we didn't do this initially, and this is a newer concept to my family, but we do have a set of core values, and we do have a mission statement. But your set of core values is, who do you want to turn out into the world if you're raising children? How do you want to show up for these people who are a part of your family? How would you like them to show up for me? What defines family for you? And so while you're defining that, what traditions do you have? What rituals do you practice? How do you stay connected? How do you know that they're your family, and how do you know that you're theirs? How does the world know that you guys are family? So family does not, when you're setting up this time and your intentions and your goals related to your family, it doesn't have to be large gestures, right? Like, it is small, very intentional moments that happen over a span of time. It can be bigger gestures. It could be huge birthday celebrations. It could be great anniversary celebrations. It could be school celebrations, but sometimes it's just the little things. And what does that look like for you? If there's anybody who's watching who would like to share a family tradition that they practice, is it something that you practice once a year? Is it something that you do on a regular basis? Our family is pretty large, and we have birthdays almost every month. And because of that, that is one of our 3 goals for the month, is we're going to celebrate a birthday. Another thing, now that everybody's in closer vicinity, is we try to have a meal together on a regular basis. For the people who live further away, we try to do a family Zoom, or just even a touch point to know, like, let's check on our elders. Let's check on our distant family. What does that look like? How are we showing up? Are we sending birthday cards? Do you have holiday dinners? Do you have family trips? What is your family goal? What is the core value? And how do you incorporate that in your life? Do you have a spouse that you need to stay connected to in amongst taking care of children and taking care of elderly parents? How do you put that into your life? How do you schedule that? Do you have a sister that you would like to spend quality time with away from your spouse and her spouse and your children? Justina says, my special Polish traditions apply to holidays like Easter and Christmas. That is awesome. I love like the traditional holidays and what we usually do for those holidays. Funny story. Our middle grandson just this week asked if we could have Christmas pudding for Christmas this year. I have no idea what Christmas pudding is, and neither does he. I don't know if he heard it in a story. He's in the 1st grade. I don't know if he heard it in a story, but he requested Christmas pudding. And I said, well, I'm not really sure what it is, but would you like vanilla or chocolate? And he says, I think I'll take chocolate. Well, sounds like we're getting a new Christmas tradition this year. We're going to have Christmas pudding. This gentleman doesn't ask for very much, and he really does not care for food. It's definitely just sustenance for him. So when he's asking for something, and this is his tradition, this is what we would like to incorporate. But what does it look like in this walk on a regular daily basis when you're walking through the trenches, when you are sending kids off to school, when you're starting a career, while you're building a business, when you're walking through the grief process? I can tell you that having my core values and having kind of a set plan helped me to stay very intentional and very connected to my family when so many parts of me wanted to be disconnected from my family, or so many parts of me I was like very tucked in. So when you have these core values and you know what that looks like, and you even know where you want your family to go, it's easy to build those traditions and those rituals and those values into your life. If you've decided that you would love to take a family trip with your family every year, how are we making that happen? What are you doing on a regular basis to have the ability to be able to build in a family trip? Is it just your immediate family? Is it your extended family? Is it your family and another family that doesn't have to be blood, that maybe your kids play on the same baseball team? What are you doing for, say, the year to plan for this to happen? Are you setting an itinerary? Are we setting a budget? Are we talking to all of the people? Have we decided on what that looks like? For Mac and I, my husband that I've been married to for 20 years, our core value really centers around sending really great people out into the world. Another core value for us is I want my family to be close. I want my children to continue to have a relationship with each other and with us, and especially with each other if we aren't here. So one of the things that we do is just try to teach them how to be connected. We try to make sure that they have the opportunity to spend some time, high countries, some time together, some time away from us. They get to see my husband and I go on dates that aren't anything spectacular. For me, sometimes it's just driving through a new neighborhood or driving around someplace that has water. For my husband, it may be checking out a new bar or dessert bar. It is very small, intentional things. Sometimes it is just being able to step away from this home and have a conversation with each other that is not interrupted by anyone else that's here. And that's not a slight to our family at all, but when you have a full family and they all need your attention, sometimes you need to remove yourself from this space so then they don't have access to you. Do you want your traditions to carry on with your children? So how does that show up for you? Do you have a family that's far away and now you need to build in connections to them? Do you live abroad and your family lives in a different country? How are you staying connected? What are the core values and how would you like to see the future of your family? So, again, it's personal. It is very specific to the people that you're talking to. It is very specific to you. And how do you want to show up for them? If you are a single mom, how are you showing up for your children and how are you making that work? How are you getting quality time with them? So here's an example of 3 goals. Sorry, guys, I want to check the time here. Here's an example of 3 goals that you can set for your family that is going to be part of your Rooted in 6 plan. So you can have 1 uninterrupted family meal a week. You can set specific dates for specific family members. So whether it is to take one child out for a dessert or to go to lunch with one child, or maybe just go on a specific walk with another, how are you connecting with them and how are you putting that into your regular schedule when you're in the trenches so that you can make sure that this is an area of your life that is staying nurtured. Another thing is to, like I said, do a family call. Thank God for technology that now we can get on a Zoom and you can see everybody's face and you can do FaceTime, but you have to be intentional about that. Life gets away from you. And as adults, we get busy and you cannot be always connected. And so set an intentional time. I have as one of my goals for my friendship section and definitely in my family section as well, to be able to, I schedule out of town messages. It's very intentional. And it isn't that I need to put you on my schedule because I don't think highly of you. It is I have to put you on my schedule because I think highly of you. And very many things can get in the way. Just yesterday, day before, my sister called when I was in the store with my youngest son, helping him pick some things. And I walked in and started helping my grandson with homework. And it was the middle of the night, and I sat straight up in bed and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never called her back. Which meant that I needed to, first thing in the morning, make sure that I called her back. Also, check in to make sure she didn't need something in the moment. If she would have needed something, I'm sure she would have called me back to say, hey, you forgot to call me. But she may have needed to have a sounding board. She may have needed a cry. She may have just needed to hear a friendly voice after being out in the world that we live in and needed to hear from someone that she trusted. So while you're working on your family values, set a goal for that. Pick 3 tasks that you're going to add to your calendar for the month and divvy them out. There isn't every day that you can talk to an out-of-town person. But if you see a Saturday afternoon where you've got a 3-hour block, I'm going to talk to my cousin over here for an hour. That doesn't happen. We're on the phone for the whole 3 hours. But I'm going to talk to one person for an hour, somebody else for an hour, and I can go to lunch with somebody else. Justina said, I've had that happen before. I'm becoming more intentional with putting things on my calendar. It is when, for me, I need the accountability. I need to have things scheduled. I can think in my head, oh, I'm terrible about sending a card. But I can say, oh, I should send a birthday card. Well, if I didn't write it down and I didn't say when I needed to send it, the birthday is come and gone. Same thing, I sent out Christmas cards one year. I have really pretty Christmas cards that I was supposed to send out 2 years ago when we moved. I didn't do it. I didn't do it because life gets in the way and life is very busy. And that doesn't mean that you don't love your family and that you don't want to have those connections, but we have to be intentional about the things that are important to us. And that does mean putting them on a calendar. That does mean putting a reminder in your phone. We're all human. We're all in the trenches just trying to survive every day. We are busy with little things. It may be you're not feeling well. Someone else may not be feeling well. You may be having a really great conversation with your neighbor out in the driveway that lasts 45 minutes. You intended to do something else, but because it wasn't on your calendar, you never got to it, or it wasn't on your to-do list. And so how are you spending your time building the core family values that you want? And if you need support or ideas about what your family core values can look like, I am happy to help with that. I currently have one-on-one coaching slots in my Rooted in 6 program. It is an 8-week program in which we are going to talk about the areas of your life that need to be nurtured. And we're going to come up with a game plan for you that is specific for you and how you can make your life harmonious. She says, and learning to show yourself grace and letting go of a sense of control. Yes, don't come out as planned. Exactly. So me spending 45 minutes in the driveway talking to my neighbor was very fruitful. I needed that conversation and so did she. And so that was great. But then I had something else to do, but I have it written down and I have the plan to be able to touch base with someone else. And so I love the idea of having a blueprint for my life. And I know that might seem rigid to some people, and it may seem, it may just seem challenging for some people, I think. And it may just seem rigid, like I don't want to live by a plan and I don't want to have this. However, time keeps moving. Life gets away from you. It gets ahead of you. You look up and you're like, wow, I never did this, or I didn't do that, or I would like to do this, but you make no intentional plan to do it. And then it's gone. Excuse me. The opportunity is gone. Sometimes you can't see a way to get to get to the end, right? Like you like, I would like this family that stays well connected, and I want to have really strong family roots, and I want to pass some of the traditions that my family passed on to me to my children, my nieces and nephews, my cousins, maybe share some of our traditions with another family so they can add it to their family. But if you don't have a plan for your family, if you don't have a mission statement or any core values, what is the legacy that you're passing on? And it isn't just about children, right? Like if you're lucky enough to be the rich auntie, what legacy do you want to leave behind for your nieces and nephews? If you happen to be the grandmother and the adult children are gone, what legacy would you like to leave behind? I am very nostalgic and I love creating a memory. We definitely have very distinct traditions in our family, and a lot of them were started when we had nothing but each other. I didn't have money to spend on many things, and I didn't have the materialistic things to provide for my children, and all we had was us. All I had was time and some ingenuity. I'm not crafty. My older sister got all of that. However, there are some very distinct traditions that were built out of nothing that my children cling to and now have passed to their children. And I love that. It's not something that money can buy, but we had a core value for our family, and I get to see that come to fruition. I won't look at my life and be like, wow, what did I do besides provide for them? Wow, what am I leaving besides them? Even financial wise, right? I'm kind of like Shaq, like I'm not leaving these kids anything. Like this is my money and we're going to use it for us. They need to build their own future. But I definitely want to leave them with great memories. I want to leave here feeling like I lived a life of value. I want to leave here feeling like I've accomplished something and not just sending great people out into the world. That's currently happening for me, but also that was intentional. I had to put in the work to get that. And so that came from having a set of core values, planning how I was going to touch base with them, planning how I was going to touch base with the elders that are in my life, even going through the trenches. So I hope that this pillar kind of sparks some interest. I know the holidays are coming up, and everybody's got a ton of traditions and a ton of things that they want to do. But what a great time to start kind of pouring into your family. Think of your your mission statement. Start to put in place some of the things that you want to do moving forward. I'm not necessarily a New Year's resolution person, but I love a fresh start. I love a fresh start in October, November, December, in January. I love the idea of somebody writing a mission statement onto "You're welcome, Justina. Thank you for being here." I love the idea of writing a mission statement on your vision board and asking your family to contribute what they want from this family. That's an idea that I just really had. I think we'll do that this year for New Year's. Anyway, I hope that this pillar kind of explains what happens in the second part of your 8-week coaching session. And again, we are going to nurture every part of you that needs to be nurtured. And if there's some that you're highly strong in, that you're doing really well in, and they don't need anything, and you've got a built system for that, then we're going to transfer some of those tools, some of those skills, some of those plans and factors into another part of your life that you would like to nurture. I want everybody to have what they feel like is a well-rounded life. I want everybody to have what they feel is kind of a bubble of joy. And I want you to have anchors, because life is going to throw you curveballs, and it's not always kind to us, and it's not always linear, and it's not always gentle. But if we have some soft spaces to land, if we have some anchors to hold on to, then it's easier to get back to a softer place. So I look forward to connecting with everyone who sees this live. The replay will be up tomorrow. Please join my Facebook group, Becoming Me, a soulful space for growth and grace. If you are already a part of my group and you know any women or even any men who are looking for just kind of a safe space and maybe just some guidance, please send them our way. I'm also offering a free 30-minute seasonal life audit, and let me put that link in here as well. But it's a seasonal life audit, so we could have a conversation about where you are in your life, what again needs to be nurtured, and how we can start that space. So if you're not in a position or not ready to do 8-week coaching, or you're not sure what needs to be nurtured, it is an opening conversation for us to have, and we can have this audit and we can talk about where your life is and we can see how we can move forward. I appreciate everybody's time and attention for this live. And I hope to see you guys on socials. I hope to see you in my DMs with some questions or some suggestions. And I also hope to see you on my calendar for your free seasonal life audit. Let's see where you are. Let's see what season you're going through. Let's see what needs to be nurtured and what doesn't. Or just maybe some self-discovery. What is it that I'm missing? Am I missing anything? Can I offer some help to somebody else? Have I been through a season that somebody else is walking through that maybe I can speak to them about what we're currently going through? So I hope that you guys have a great day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.